They are a hidden empire. They operate in the shadows of our cities, in the forgotten corners of our world. Most people go about their daily lives without ever seeing them. But they are there. They are powerful, organized, and ruthless. These gangs are not just street thugs fighting over turf. They are global corporations of crime. They deal in drugs, weapons, and human lives. Mara Salvatrucha, or MS-13, is a name that inspires terror. It is one of the most violent gangs on the planet. Their story begins not in the jungles of Central America, but on the streets of Los Angeles. In the 1980s, thousands of people fled a brutal civil war in El Salvador. They arrived in America as refugees seeking safety, but they found themselves in tough neighborhoods, targeted by existing gangs. To protect themselves, they formed their own crew. Their motto is Mata, Roba, Viola, Controla, which means kill, steal, rape, control. This isn't just a slogan, it's a business model. When you talk about the drug trade, one name stands above the rest: the Sinaloa Cartel. For decades, this Mexican organization has been one of the most powerful and sophisticated drug trafficking groups in the world. They don't just sell drugs, they run a global logistics empire. The cartel's power was cemented under the leadership of one man, Joaquin Guzman, better known as El Chapo. El Chapo wasn't just a thug, he was a criminal CEO. He understood the importance of bribery and corruption. Their methods are ingenious and ever-changing. They use submarines, tunnels, and even catapults to cross borders. The scale of their operation is staggering, a multi-billion-dollar enterprise built on addiction and bloodshed. The Sinaloa cartel's business is not just about smuggling, it is enforced with brutal violence. In Japan, organized crime has a very different face. They are known as the Yakuza. Unlike street gangs, the Yakuza have deep roots in Japanese history, tracing their origins back centuries to samurai and traditional gamblers. They are highly organized into clans or families with a strict patriarchal structure. The Yakuza are famous for their full-body tattoos known as irizumi. These are not just decorations, they are a symbol of commitment, a permanent mark of their identity. The tattoos are often done using traditional, painful hand-poking methods and can take years to complete. They also have a ritual called yubitsume, the cutting off of a finger joint. This is done as an apology for a mistake or a failure. But things are changing. The Japanese government has cracked down hard on the Yakuza, but the Yakuza are far from finished. They are adapting, moving into more sophisticated cybercrime and international drug trafficking. They remain a powerful and dangerous force, a blend of ancient tradition and modern organized crime. The most dangerous gangs are not always on the streets. Some are born and bred inside the most secure places on Earth, our prisons. Behind bars, a different set of rules applies. Survival depends on strength and affiliation. Two of the most notorious prison gangs in the United States are the Aryan Brotherhood and the Black Guerrilla family. The Aryan Brotherhood, or the Brand, is a white supremacist gang formed in the 1960s. They were created by white inmates to protect themselves from black and Hispanic gangs. The Aryan Brotherhood is small in number, but their reputation for violence is, well, huge. On the other side of the racial divide is the Black Guerrilla family, or BGF. Founded in the 1960s by a former Black Panther member, the BGF started with a political ideology. They can order a hit on someone in another prison across the country with a single coded message. Their influence extends far beyond the prison gates. Released members continue to work for the gang on the outside. In South America, the line between gangs and armies is often blurred. Two groups exemplify this terrifying reality: Brazil's PCC and Mexico's Los Zetas. The PCC, or Primero Comando de Capital, First Command of the Capital, was born inside a Sao Paulo prison in the 1990s. It was formed by inmates to protest a prison massacre and demand better conditions. The PCC controls a vast criminal network. They dominate drug and arms trafficking routes across Brazil and into neighboring countries. They are known for their spectacular and violent bank robberies, often using military tactics and heavy explosives. From within their cells, PCC leaders coordinate their empire using smuggled cell phones. Los Zetas were not formed by common criminals or prisoners. They were created by former members of the Mexican Army's Special Forces. These elite soldiers deserted their posts in the late 1990s and went to work as enforcers for a drug cartel. Los Zetas became infamous as the most sadistic and violent cartel in Mexico. They pioneered new levels of brutality, including massacres of civilians and beheadings. Italy is the birthplace of the mafia, and one of its oldest and most sprawling branches is the Camorra, based in the city of Naples and the surrounding region of Campania. The Camorra is different from the more famous Sicilian mafia. It is not a single, unified organization. Instead, it is a loose network of many different clans, often fighting with each other in violent turf wars. This decentralized structure makes it chaotic and unpredictable. They have their hands in everything. They are involved in drug trafficking, bringing cocaine from South America into Europe. They run vast extortion rackets, forcing businesses to pay pizzo or protection money. They have also infiltrated legitimate industries. One of their most notorious rackets is waste management. They illegally dump toxic industrial waste, poisoning the land and water for profit. Control within the Camorra is maintained through family ties and extreme violence. Leadership is often passed down from father to son, but loyalty is fragile. They use young recruits, often teenagers, as soldiers and hitmen, promising them power and money in a region with few opportunities. The Camorra is a parasitic organization, draining the lifeblood from its community, while simultaneously providing a structure that many have come to depend on for survival. They are the most famous motorcycle club in the world. With their leather jackets and roaring Harleys, the Hells Angels cultivate an image of freedom and rebellion. They call themselves one-percenters, a term they say refers to the 1% of bikers who live outside the laws of society. But law enforcement agencies around the world see them differently. They see them not as a club of rebels, but as a sophisticated and dangerous organized crime syndicate. Founded in California in 1948, the Hells Angels have grown into a global organization with chapters or charters on every continent. A prospect must prove their worth and dedication over years before they can earn their patch, the iconic Death's Head logo worn on the back of their vest. They are also known for their extreme violence, especially against rival biker gangs. Bloody wars have been fought against groups like the Bandidos and the Outlaws. We have journeyed into a world that exists alongside our own, a world governed by violence, loyalty, and fear. These gangs represent a global threat. The impact on communities is devastating. In places controlled by gangs like MS-13 or the PCC, ordinary people live in a state of constant terror. Law enforcement agencies around the world are fighting a difficult and often thankless war against these organizations. Ignoring them is not an option. We must understand the nature of this threat, support the efforts to combat it, and work to address the root causes that allow these gangs to flourish. The hidden empire of crime is real, and the war against it is happening right now in the shadows of our world.